Welcome back. What is up, guys? We are here with hashtag 37. We are back. It's the E3 aftermath. As always, I am Jace, your host of UWatt, and I am joined by the man that I will call the Gary Coleman to my Willis. He is the Arnold Jackson to my Willis Jackson. How are you, Squeak?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Right.
The thing with this reference, yeah, is I just thought to myself, like, younger listeners probably won't know who Gary Coleman is.
I was gonna say.
May he rest in peace. Died 6 years ago. 6 years ago last month.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And you know what? I did have to think, like, didn't he die? Like, is that bad? Is that bad? That, like, when you don't know if someone's dead or not, or if you can't remember?
Max, I think he was 52.
Okay.
Or, hold on. 1968. 42. So yeah, he was 42 when he died. That's quite young. Shit. But yeah. So how are you, mate? How's life? How did you feel E3 was?
I liked it. Well, I'd say I liked it. I like Sony's. I've not seen Nintendo's. That's one that I've not looked at.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything of Nintendo's.
Not looked at all.
People have buzzed about Zelda, but that has pretty much been the only thing really mentioned from Nintendo. The thing that I found quite interesting is that looking through the airwaves and, sifting through the general negativity that there always is with everything on the internet ever from now on, I found it quite interesting that a lot of people that have PlayStations were saying, I'm going to get rid of my PlayStation and buy the Xbox One S, or I'm going to get an Xbox One Scorpio. And then people with Xbox have been saying, like, oh, Sony really smashed it with their conference. I'm definitely going to get like a PS4 Neo, which I thought was quite interesting to see that, both companies have kind of done something that have made the people they already have, like, so they're going to the competitors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the thing is, though, those that are like going, oh, get the Xbox One Scorpio, I think they're those people that are all about like power. But if you don't use that power right,
motherfucking teraflops, bitch.
If you don't use that power right, though, yeah, it don't mean shit, don't it? Do you know what I mean?
With great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. You gotta fine tune it. But shit.
So okay, so you enjoyed PlayStation, but what has been your favourite bit? Like, what stood out for you?
What stood out? I wouldn't call it my favourite bit, but what stood out was Battlefield.
Okay.
And they brought all the celebrities and the YouTubers in it, and it was just a really odd mix.
The thing that I loved was the way that they spoke to Snoop, and he's like, I've got a secret weapon, but I can't tell you what it is. 20 minutes later, smoking on a spliff. It's like, yes, Snoop.
I think for me, though, it was just that thing of the game looked a bit lame, and it was just sort of like they were trying to showcase the people rather than the game. It's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, because they had, like, seeing people like Zac Efron and Jamie Foxx come out was a bit like, why? Like, why those two? Like, what was the significance? Are they involved in it in any way? Are they voices in it? Or
the fucking game and, like, Wiz and everyone was there, man. It's like, what the fuck is the point? And you lot, like, serious?
That's the thing. I bet it was one of those things where they were just interested in being there. They offered to be there, and then Battlefield had kind of gone, oh, this would be cool. People will watch it if they're there. I wonder if it's that.
The thing is, I don't say that with Snoop because I know that fucking he plays games. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, shit.
Obviously, there was that video when he was getting pissed at Microsoft and Xbox was down.
Yeah. But, like, I just found it really odd. It's like, I know you want to make an event, you want to make it a big showcase, but you're showing the people more than the game, and it's like the game looks shit what you're showing, so just stop. Like,
I felt like as well that the problem was that I think I've seen it twice in two separate conferences, or maybe even a third, that the Battlefield 1 trailer was played in. Like, I'm sure EA used it and Xbox used it.
Yeah.
And it was a bit like, it's the exact, guys, could we not have communicated and said I got dibs on the trailer? Because it kind of takes that oomph out, doesn't it, when the next person does it?
I think as well what got me is Microsoft's... Sony for me won it, yeah. But Microsoft sort of... I think what killed it is they did that thing again where it was like... it's almost like we'll put on a show. It's like we'll have like the two people pretending to play in front of you, and it's sort of like just show us the games, man.
See,
And then even the games they were showing weren't really like Scalebound. I thought that was going to be good, but then seeing it in motion sort of put me off a bit. Like I
okay.
don't know.
Well, in
Like
regards to the show side of things, like Phil Spencer from Microsoft had said that it was when so he was quoted by Game Informer saying, "When I look at this year, I'll just take the E3 conferences. We showed 4 big games launching exclusively on Xbox One and Windows 10. When I think about Gears, Forza, Horizon, Recore, Dead Rising 4, all of those games are launching this year and they've been announced. There are dates added next to them. And I
yeah,
think on
yeah.
the indie side, we've got Inside, which I've been playing. We've got We Happy Few. We've got Below. We've got Cuphead. There are a ton more, but I'm thinking about some real highlights in indie games that are coming this year. Um, and when I watch the other platforms, it's not always clear to me when the games are shipping or how many of them are shipping this year.
I was I was gonna say that is one issue that I saw with quite a bit of Sony stuff. It was like they shown a lot of games, but when you look at them and like after it, and it come up with dates and stuff, and I swear,
Yeah.
and one of them had the actual sort of rough release date of like February, like some shit like that next year. Do you know what I mean? Like,
And this
and
is
then
the thing.
the rest were like in development, but
This is the thing. It's good to obviously have like the teasers and stuff and look at the good stuff. But yeah, at the same time, I could kind of see where I guess Microsoft can't be like, oh, we did this because we're showing all the games out this year. That's cool, but you could have showed a project that is 2 years in the making. Like, it'll be out in 2 years. There's nothing wrong with having a little teaser.
I think for me though, it's how they present it. Like I say, Sony must have had three people talk, yeah,
Mm,
and then one of them was Kojima, so people was going fucking nuts for that
yeah,
anyway. But it's that thing of between it was just games. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas like when Microsoft's showing their stuff, it's like, oh, come on, Susan and fucking Mike, motherfuckers we don't care about.
Yeah.
Like, show us how you play this game
Look,
that you're not actually playing. Like,
in regards to a highlight for me, like a game that really stood out was what was it called? We Happy Few or We the Happy Few or whatever it was
is
called. Like
is that
that
that the
looked
indie one?
trippy. So
Is
yeah, it was like really British. Everybody had these masks on, but you had to take your joy.
where
And there's the
he
one
hits
guy
the
that
pinata?
oh my
Is that?
god! It was when they were eating the candy, and then like he looks and he realizes it's a rat they're eating. And they're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you're not on your pills. He's a downer. We've got a downer." It's like what the hell? Like it kind of.
it's that utopian sort
The
of.
thing is, I see it as it reminds me of like a type of vault in Fallout that you'd find.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It
yeah.
did look really good. I thought it looked really good actually, because that was one where I was like, "Shit, what game is this?"
Mm.
And it's like, is it an indie game? Because it looks
Yeah.
like a triple A
That's
title.
the
Like,
thing, but it's indie. It's down as one of the indie titles.
yeah, that looks really good. I like that's one of those where I was like, "Shit, I'm actually gonna get that." Because
Yes, it's been made by Compulsion Games. So I know it was announced at E3, but I might reach out to them and see if we can get a cheeky review copy to have a look at. That'd be pretty damn cool if we could. But yeah, even if we can't, like one of us will snap that up and everyone will get to play it. I just
yeah,
feel it'd be one of those games that would be really good to stream
the thing is
because the
that
story on it looks like the narrative would be pretty good.
I was gonna say I love any sort of anything like that where it's sort of dystopian and it's sort of like, you know what I mean? They're trying
Hmm.
to sell you something and it's sort of like just not what it is. It's that sort of what is it? That Buck 1984 is it?
So, yeah,
Oscar Wilde.
the
I'm
with the Big Brother and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Is that
I
that one?
can't say I've read it. I can't say I've read it, but yeah, it's
I've read
like
bits.
yeah, like
Yeah, no,
fucking
it looks pretty cool. They were saying, PlayStation are doing that thing again where they're taking the genre of dad games. So God of War's back, but
yeah. And he's looking
Kratos
after
is
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kratos is back with a bang, is what Digital Spy have said. But it's one of those things where at the same time, you know, Last of Us done it really well. Is there a
Last
need to
of
put
Us.
it into God of War?
No, no, that's know what though. Yeah, you mentioned The Last of Us. That game, shit. What is it called? It looks like a zombie one.
Yeah. Oh, I was looking at it earlier. It's like Days Gone.
Yeah, and that when I first saw that, yeah, I was like, this looks very Last of Us. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? The way that they move, the characters, even, and the thing is, I don't know, but is it Naughty Dog? Because I've been playing Uncharted lately on PlayStation, and the movements and everything just look really fucking similar. And I swear Naughty Dog make The Last of Us as well, so it's sort of like,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Was
I
it?
don't know.
It looks almost a bit like what was that expansion pack from GTA 4, and it had like the motorbikes and stuff. It looks like something from that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Lost and the Damned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like that kind of mixed with like a bit of a Walking Dead. It's almost. Do you know what? It's
Like
almost
World War
like
Z,
if
like.
it's almost like if Daryl had his own game. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Norman Reedus got taken by Kojima, so he wasn't able to make that game, so they just made do what they got. Having a look, it says that Days Gone is developed by SIE Bend Studio for the PlayStation 4. So
Okay.
I hadn't heard them. The thing that I found when I watched it again today, watched back like the gameplay. The trailer looked really good. I looked at the gameplay that kind of showed the mechanics of it, but I kind of felt that it was really odd. Obviously, it was a display and it was set pieces to kind of show what the game's about, showing how many of the mobs can be on screen and stuff like that. I felt like every time they turned around to shoot the hordes that were coming after them, it didn't seem like a necessary move
No,
because
no,
they
it was,
weren't going to
yeah.
get caught. It was just I just feel like the way that they made that, it was just too it was too much of a set piece. The way he was running around in circles, it was just pointless. I kind of felt it got to a point where
Well, it's
he's doing
that,
so much running, but it wasn't really going anywhere. But I did like the way it showed, like you said, with the World War Z zombies, how they like pile up, and as they pile up,
yeah.
they get over things. That was pretty good.
But it's like that at the end where he's just stuck on that like
Yeah.
silo thing, and
Oh,
it's like,
come on.
yeah. But you know what? Yeah, you know what upset me with Microsoft again as well?
So,
Pushing Minecraft still.
yeah.
Why? Like you mentioned Cuphead, yeah. I'd have rather have seen like Cuphead than
Here's the
Minecraft.
thing that annoyed me as well. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Mentioning Cuphead is that Cuphead has developed and changed from the game that we seen like last year. So it was initially going to be like a boss battle game, but they've
Yeah.
changed it. It now has platforming elements. Like it's
Oh,
shaping up to be an actual like more of a full game.
see it. Look, it was very Metal Slug, wasn't it? Just
Yeah.
caught. Yeah.
So it's still a bit like that, but with like a few platforming elements. As Metal Slug does have a few elements in there as well. But yeah, it just annoyed me that in the trailers that they were showing, they didn't bother to show anything new from the game. Because when I saw some of the footage and it showed the gameplay, and how they were walking backwards and forwards, jumping up and down and jumping gaps and stuff like that, they have added to the game, but they just kind of didn't really pay it any attention. But like you say, they show Minecraft. It's really great with what they're doing with Minecraft and how all these different devices now Microsoft
It's
own
just
it, they can all get involved in the same game. But don't just do it to Minecraft. Do it with something else as well.
the thing is, it's still just Minecraft. You know what I mean? PC players have had that for like ages, and it's not one of those like PC elitist kind of like
Hmm.
comments. It's just to like you're trying to impress people with stuff that they probably know is already out there and
This is the
about.
thing, and the people that are massive Minecraft fans will have it on their PC already.
Yeah,
And it's one of those things where I can't think how many years it's been out on the Xbox. Obviously, it was on the Xbox 360. It's not anything new.
that's
So
the
they're
thing.
adding the updates and stuff. So I played it the other day with the kids, and it's still a fun game to play when you're sort of building up. But there isn't much to it where you jump on and go, oh my god, they've done all of this. So like haven't played Ark for a while, but I bet if I jumped on, there's so many things now that we could do that we didn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yes, that was a bit of a downer. I'm trying to think what else I seen that really
Crash Bandicoot.
jumped out to me. Yep, I
As
called
soon
it.
as soon as they mentioned it, I was like, that's me. Like, because the thing is, I've been, like I said, I've been playing my PS4. Like I'm not gonna lie. After the Sony conference, and they sort of, they hyped me up, man. I dusted off my PS4. I was like, shit, let's see what games are about. I bought Uncharted. I bought Ratchet and Clank. And then like Ratchet and Clank, yeah, sort of reminds me of like Crash and that. Like back in those days where like you didn't have the online bullshit. You just sat there, you played your game, and you just sort of
Yeah,
chilled and enjoyed it, man. It was like there was no mad stresses. Like it was just fun.
yeah. So that's the
So,
thing. Like I did not see the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare preview. Some people have said that it's shaping up to look better than what they were expecting, but the game is still heading on YouTube for being the most disliked video on YouTube.
The thing is that Call of Duty, I was like, oh, this like I didn't actually realize it was Call of Duty at the start because it was sort of space marine sort of looking and stuff, and it was your brother that said it in the group chat because I was chatting to him while it was on, and like it was one of those where it was good up to the point where they started playing, and it was like it's just the fucking same shit, the same like. The animations when you run, do you know what I mean? The way your gun moves, the
Yeah.
reloads, and it just seemed like, just like shit, man.
I love.
Like,
Sorry, continue. I'm just like about to
it,
add to completely different.
I was just gonna say, it's that thing where it looked good, but the same old gameplay put me off it so much.
Yeah.
Cause,
It's difficult, isn't it? It'll be good to. This is the thing. It'll be good with Battlefield stepping up with Battlefield 1 if that does really well. If somebody else can jump in that gap in the middle, and then maybe then in 2 years' time, whoever's making that Call of Duty will make something like you knew that this Call of Duty wasn't carrying much weight for the fact of now they've dropped Modern Warfare Remastered.
yeah.
That to me, it was really great that they're doing that, but that just said to me, you're not very confident in this game.
Yeah, you need something to boost those sales.
Because
Like,
they could have just said, we're adding the maps, but no, they've said they're remastering the whole thing.
or they could have just brought it out separately.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just one of those things where they kind of looked a bit wobbly. The thing I was going to say, I just thought about another thing that I really enjoyed seeing was with Titanfall. Obviously, like I said, I played the first one, really enjoyed it. It was just the social aspect that I was missing that kind of left the game a bit empty for me. But I loved watching how they've added different ways to enter your Titan. So I thought it was really cool because when it was shown like he was jumping and being caught by his Titan and then being put in, or they were sliding between the legs from underneath it and then getting picked up and put in. Just some of those are really cool because it kind of shows that the thing that would sometimes happen in the original is that your Titan would be there, you'd run to go and get into him, and then it would kind of start the set piece of you getting in. Whereas this one
Yeah,
looks a bit more like, you can jump in the air and be flying towards it and hold enter, and you will do an animation that's really fluid of you getting in,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is really cool. And I like that they've added swords and stuff. It'd be cool if they add more units and more customization to your Titans, which is cool.
I think another game that I saw that I thought looked good, but it looks very Outlast sort of esque. Um, Resident Evil.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen how it looks and that. I played a bit of the demo, and I'll be honest, I kind of turned it off because it creeped me out a bit. But
Okay.
but it's one of those where when I saw it, I was like, shit, I think I want to play that, like because it's from what I see, it's first person. It's sort of like you're walking about. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. But yeah, it looks really atmospheric, and just it does look good. It was sort of a different turn, I think, as well, because the last Res Evil was sort of more like action, wasn't it? If you remember, there's like the
Yeah.
three. Yeah, well, I say that there was the three stories, and they tried to make one almost like classic Res Evil horror, and it sort of just missed the mark a little bit.
That's the thing. It's been mentioned about how with some of the games that are coming up horror wise, the AAA titles that were known for horror games kind of stepped away from a lot of it, and now it's kind of looking like they're going back to the Silent Hill kind of era, or like the original Resident Evil. It had zombies, but it wasn't about waves of zombies. It was just the creepy element to a haunted house.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, they're
That
kind of going back to that.
that's the thing mentioning Silent Hill. I don't know how right I am on this, but there was Silent Hill PT on PlayStation, wasn't there? Before
Yeah.
the whole
That was the one that I think one of my mates, Ben Skew, showed me. Like when they had the demo, you literally walked around this square over and over, and it kept the story kept developing each time you went round.
it looks
Freaky.
spooky as fuck from what I saw. But the thing is basically, I'm pretty sure Norman Reedus was at the end of that game,
Yeah.
and it was almost like a prequel. And now that Kojima come out and he's got Norman Reedus in the trailer, that makes me wonder: is that Silent Hill under a new name?
Yeah.
And is that one of those where
Like that's the
Kojima's
loophole.
yeah, that's where. But is it like Kojima's just come out on Sony's like stage as a big fuck you, innit, to Konami.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what? You can, like, run all that bollocks, but I still got this shit. Like,
Thing that I would really love, and the powers that be sometimes listen to us and they sometimes key in. So, Crash Bandicoot Remastered. In the past, we bought Turtles in Time to the Xbox 360 for our conversations. I
yeah.
would really like a reboot of Dino Crisis. That game was so hard, but kind of had those Resident Evil mechanics, and then just added friggin' dinosaurs.
See what? Yeah. I didn't used to play horrors, but it's one of those where I'd watch Hugsy play it.
Yeah, that
Like,
that was like me. There was a lad years ago that used to live next door to my dad, and I used to go and like every now and again I'd watch him or his older brother play some of those kind of games, like the first Resident Evil. I never played it myself, but watched him play it and kind of stuff like that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Dino Crisis is the only one I played, and I enjoyed the kind of atmosphere of it, but like I got killed so many times. I think it was Dino Crisis 3, like just start at number 3 because it makes sense. Um, and yeah, I just remember just getting wiped out over and over by the Velociraptors, and I found out that I can run here and kind of get away. But that kind of game, I would love to have it back.
yeah,
Even if it wasn't even Dino Crisis, but those mechanics and they made like a Jurassic spin-off.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. But E3 just passed, so they've got time to make that happen. I'm
Okay.
really tempted if we can. Sorry to cut you off again. I'm really tempted because if we can build our following, I would really love to get to E3. I think I said within 3 years I'd like to get there. It'd be great to go there next year, but you've got to be realistic. And I was just thinking to myself like we kind of have to get ourselves. So you've got E3. The main E3 is where they have the main press conferences and stuff like that, and it's press only. But they had a what was it called? They had a thing called like E3 Live, where they invited in just like Joe Public, and there was like so many thousands of tickets that were available, first come first serve. But apparently the event was really garbage. It was just not so much playing games. There weren't many game or tech demos. It was mainly merchandise like T-shirts and stuff
Okay.
like that. So people were really unhappy with it. And I think, to be fair, I'd be happy to go to LA just to kind of take in that sort of atmosphere. But it would be
Yeah.
cool if we could build this and get to E3.
You know,
E3 2020, I think we should set our goal as. I think we can have that as a slogan. Would anybody be down, listeners? I mean, there's only a few of us so far. We don't have many what's hits, but the crowd is growing. Would you like to see us go to E3 in 2020? I'm gonna have that as a question. I know it's a bit early for it, but yeah.
okay. Oh, that's another thing.
Oh,
Bethesda.
oh, that's another thing. Sorry, go
Sorry, I've been listening to that classic Britney, and it's just yeah,
on. Oops, he did it again.
yeah. But you know what? I think that's why I didn't like the look of Scalebound. Like it was just missing that little something, wasn't it? But no, Bethesda,
Yes.
uh, Skyrim, remaking Skyrim. Oh, Fallout 4 going to VR.
Yeah, that would be pretty
Have
cool.
you seen that? Like that looks like it'd be pretty
Dave,
crazy.
one of the things I seen was like Batman in VR, and I kind of felt like that game could be any game. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
so with like Fallout, you become the character, you take on that role. With VR, there's a lot of it becomes you in the game, but like you becoming Batman, part of it is actually being Batman, not being you.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
yeah, when
think
you mentioned Scalebound, it was one of those. I thought the thing I thought was really cool with that is I think I texted you and said, didn't I? It reminds me of like Lost Planet, like the way that it's co-op with these massive bosses that come out of nowhere
yeah,
and
yeah.
everybody's charged on them. But sorry, you were going to say about VR.
Like that's one thing that Sony did impress me with. Like we was talking about the amount of backing. It depends on the amount of backing that VR gets
Mm,
for it to be more than just a gimmick.
yeah,
And I reckon Sony's VR will fucking pop. Like
that's the thing, and it'd be really good to see. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it'd just be good to see as now that things have kind of subsided, kind of see if people actually do put the money where their mouths is, start releasing these things, or will we start seeing things be pushed back? It'd be really great to keep an eye to see what happens. So yeah, moving on from E3, there was a few things that I saw that were pretty cool. So obviously, Dead Rising 4 was mentioned. Frank is back for Xbox One. Now, apparently, it's only a timed exclusive for Xbox One. They've basically said that like it's got a year exclusivity,
okay,
so it'll be on Windows 10 and Xbox One for a year. But the chances are it will end up on PlayStation if it does really well. I'll see them. I can see them wanting to grab that. But I thought it was interesting to see that obviously it's been brought up at E3, but it could get an ongoing TV series on Crackle. So obviously they had like the movie that they made. I haven't yet seen it because the reviews weren't great. But then they're making a sequel to it. So there's going to be a sequel to the Dead Rising movie, and there's talks of it even having a TV series. So I'm just wondering, like, for you, Squeak, do you feel like zombies are coming back?
Oh god, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want them to, because if you remember, like back in the day,
I didn't ask if you want them to, but do you think they're coming back?
No, no.
Well,
I've not seen I've not seen enough zombie
I
games
mean,
to.
Days Gone. Have we got like obviously Resident Evil's being mentioned.
But Res
Dead
Evil,
Rising.
you got to think Res Evil is to do with the horror aspect of it, whereas if you think like Dead Rising and things like that, they're more like just a horde. Do you know what I mean? But maybe. But
Because I feel like with the zombie genre, I know this isn't necessarily talking about TV, but when you look at things like The Walking Dead, I feel that it's kind of slowed down and become a bit stale now. Like
yeah,
I've spent so much time with these characters, it's just kind of going on too long. The only time you spend this long with characters is in a sitcom like The Big Bang Theory. Do you know what I mean? I watched The Walking Dead to see main characters die.
yeah.
And so, well, I guess
Who,
we're
who
going to
would
get that
you
when
want
we come
to
back
die
anyway. To be fair, I think that anybody dying will have a massive impact, regardless of who it is.
The
I
thing
love the
is
whole.
that
I'd love for them to kill Daryl just to see if the fangirls and the fanboys do actually riot.
I was gonna say that's the thing though. I feel that they won't kill specific characters because they hold too much weight to people. Do you know what I mean? Like Game of Thrones is like fuck it, like we'll kill everybody off
Off with
in
his
this.
head.
We'll kill everybody off in this one fucking season. Fuck you, innit? Like, but like The Walking Dead is sort of like. Yeah, I don't know. I like even with this dilemma at the end of the last season, it's that thing where it can only be like a few people.
Yeah.
People have got to like them, but I reckon it'll be one of the newer ones. Do you know what I mean? Like,
So
but
yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Also, I don't know if it's a distraction being deployed by the man, but according to PayPal, the Steam sale kicks off on June 23rd, which is the same day as the EU referendum, according to Digital Spy. So on one hand, cool, Steam summer sales coming, but people make sure you keep an eye. Those in the EU, you got to make sure you get your vote in. Not going to go into the politics any more than that. But I thought that's cool because I love the way that Steam, when they have their sale, it's not very often that I buy things, but if I do, like I keep an eye on the summer sale. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking know what? Yeah, I gotta be careful with Steam because it's so easy to click that button and be like, fuck it, I've
Yeah.
just spent £100 on fuck all. Like,
But it's like 50 games for 100 quid sometimes. Do you know what I mean? That's
no,
what I
I
love. I
get
love
that.
summer and I love Christmas. Because Christmas, when they do like the advent calendar thing as well, is always pretty good. Because
The
stuff just
thing
pops
is,
up out of nowhere.
I know that, but I got like 260 games on it that I don't fucking play. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need another 100 games to be sitting there doing nothing.
Oh, it's for those times when you get bored.
Um, um, and hold up, are you voting in for the EU? I thought you was keep Britain British from the immigrants and shit. Because
Well,
that's what people are afraid
the
of.
thing
But
is,
they're
the thing is,
idiots,
like,
man.
obviously my heritage doesn't come. Well, half of it doesn't come from Europe. But at the same time, like, if it wasn't for immigration, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
Although you say that back in the day, it's probably the same for me.
yeah, if you go back far enough.
I mean, shit. Yeah.
But yeah,
No.
so yeah, I'm voting in. I don't really want to go into too much because we're not a political show. But it is really important that those that listen, if you are of age to vote, make sure you get your vote in. That's all I'll say. Whether it's in or out, that's up to you. But just make sure you do it because these things are quite important. It's one of those things where our generation hasn't known a time without the EU, whereas obviously the older generation have.
The thing is, though, it's yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we're not going to
no.
get into it.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
going to end up going on too long.
I could go on about this shit for
So,
fucking days, but
this week's WhatsApp, I thought I'd do it a bit different because I've been writing up the reviews on the blog, and I just feel like if I give a really in-depth review, there's no point in going to the blog to read the review. So I thought I'd just give, just a really short one. So the app is Duolingo. Duolingo is also something you can use in your web browser. It's not just an app, but it is a way of learning a new language completely for free. The way that it does it is pretty cool little lessons. The thing that's really cool is there's no adverts, there are no microtransactions. As you go through, you unlock everything just through learning. And yeah, with this one, I believe I gave it an 8 out of 10. So what I've done is I've got it so that obviously the show is released at 6 p.m. on a Monday, and then the review pops up on uwatt.tk at 7 p.m. So then that way you've got that chance to listen to the show, digest it, and go, let me see what this blog's about. Let me see what this review's about. But yeah, definitely give it a read. And if you get a chance, look into the app, because you can just pick it up and learn your language on the go. As always, guys, educational. I didn't want to not every day play games, fam.
I was surprised at that one. I'm not gonna lie. Have you learned any new words?
I have learned parts of, so like I've been learning Spanish. It's an app that I used a while back, but again, read the review, you'll see it used to be a lot different, but now we're on version like 4.6.5, and they've made it a lot more user friendly.
I just want to say, next episode, or edition, well, not episodes, next edition, I want you to do the intro in Spanish and the fucking outro in Spanish.
No, but I mean, I could say that like, tu eres muy loco, you're very crazy.
Yeah.
Yo como pollo, I eat chicken.
Amazing.
Nosotros comemos pollos, we eat chicken.
Is this all gonna be about chicken eating?
Well, I'm just thinking recently I did recap my vocab on food. So, I think it's like tu bebe leche is you drink milk.
When would you use you drink milk?
Well, it's just one of those things like just learning to say like you do something, they do something, we do something. I'm just trying to think of the words put together. But yeah, it's definitely worth having a look at. As always, guys, it'd be really good to hear from you. I do like having interactions with people. Squeak's a lonely man. I'm sure that he likes to see on UWatt every now and again mentions coming in. So get at us on Twitter, at @uwatt_. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/uwattpodcast. We're on Podomatic if you just want us audibly. Got that, Squeak? Audibly. uwatt.podomatic.com. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/uwatt. As I mentioned, there is the blog, uwatt.tk. And you can always get at us on the email, uwattmail@gmail.com. And uwatt, as always, is spelled UWatt. So yeah, it's been a pretty cool week. Obviously, having E3 is always really nice, kind of seeing what we've got coming and we know what to plan for our Christmas lists. And yeah, I guess, Squeak, have you got anything more for the people?
I'm not lonely, people. Not lonely.
Do you know, I want to try something a bit different because I've noticed that some other people do it, and I wonder if this would be helpful. So, if you like what you've heard today, hit that like button. If you're new to the show, click that subscribe button. And what was he saying? I'm doing my Philip DeFranco. Did you like the impression?
I was gonna say you sound like fucking DeFranco, like shit.
But yeah, no,
I fucking clocked it straight away as well.
So clearly it was a good impression. I'll up there. But yeah, I mean, guys, the support is so great. If people can hit the like button, if you can share it with your friends, it is much appreciated. And if you're listening and you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. Again, you just help us getting our voice out there and getting us heard is the kind of thing that will get us to E3 in 2020. Like, I'd really love for me and Squeak to go there and be able to represent, the little guy, all of us kind of. You can live your lives through us, and we want to make sure that we give back,
If we get there, he will suck each and every one of you off.
He being...
You.
Wow. Well, at least if you join in, it'll take us half the time.
I'll give out handies.
So yeah, as always, I've been Jace, he's been Squeak, and we'll see you next week.
Later.